Hey, live from Spring, Texas. It's Behind the Scope LLC with Fred Shuffler and myself, Robert Reese. How are you all doing today? I want to thank all of our subscribers out there for showing up and subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos. And once again, I want to ask you if there's anything you all want us to change or you want to see. We'd be more than happy to entertain any ideas that you want to throw our way. Okay. Happy Super Bowl day. We're going to talk today about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about drones. We're going to talk about lightning strikes. I'm going to hawk some of our merch. And then I'm also going to tell you a little bit about where I'm going in a couple of weeks. So, Fred, you have any opening lines for us?
Well, talking about the Super Bowl, we've got a major event, and they're always have to be organized before these events happen, because you've got quite a few extra aircraft that want to show up at your local airports around those areas.
So between San Francisco and Oakland, right?
San Francisco, Oakland, Sacramento even.
Some of the itinerant airports in the area?
Because the big ones fill up quick. And it's expensive landing at those bigger airports, so it's a little cheaper if they can get into smaller ones and do a limo over to the game.
Yeah, that's
Again,
right.
The game is an event that starts probably a day or two before, building up to the final kickoff.
Speaking of, Fred, who are you going for? We got New England and we got the Seahawks.
The Texans.
No, really.
Boston, New England.
New England?
Yeah.
Well, you know, this Super Bowl is going to be the first Super Bowl where the team, one of the teams that's playing, is already up for sale before the end of the game. Seattle Seahawks. So if you're out there and want to spend a couple of $1 billion to pick yourself up a football team, Seattle Seahawks are on the chopping block. So step on out there and show your green, how long your green is if you want to get a football team. But I can understand Seattle, having a football team in Seattle must be difficult these days. You know?
I'm kind of impressed with Bill Belichick.
Oh, most definitely. We want to go there. Hall of Fame, man, that is a horrible thing that happened to him. Well, let's get back to our podcast in aviation, all right?
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about lightning strikes. In fact, I'm not going to do much talking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little video that I found online, and I think you're going to find this very interesting.
And are heading up through the clouds when suddenly a bolt of lightning strikes the plane and you hear a loud bang, which startles people who may let out screams of fear.
I've got to get out of here! I've got to get out of here! Calm down! Get a hold of yourself!
In moments like this, it's easy to think the worst and to think the plane may crash. So what exactly happens when lightning hits a plane? Lightning strikes are not as dangerous as they sound. Every commercial aircraft is struck by lightning approximately once per year on average. But this frequency varies depending on factors like flight routes, weather conditions, and the number of flights per year. The Federal Aviation Administration estimates that a typical commercial plane is struck by lightning once for every 1,000 flight hours. Lightning strikes are more common during climb and descent, when aircraft pass through weather systems with electrically charged clouds. When a plane flies through a highly charged area, it can cause a disturbance in the electrical field. This disturbance may trigger a lightning strike from the cloud directed towards the plane. But planes at cruising altitude are less likely to be struck, since they often fly above the majority of thunderstorms. But they can still encounter lightning near the tops of storm clouds. While lightning strikes may alarm passengers, serious accidents caused by lightning are incredibly rare.
And lightning strikes really aren't all that unusual, even though they do look dramatic for any pictures that you might have seen out there. I've certainly experienced lightning strike in my time flying, but all we did notice was a quick flash, nothing dramatic, and really the airplane was completely unaffected.
So believe it or not, the aircraft is actually designed to be struck by lightning. It's designed so the electricity path will flow through the structure of the aircraft and out what we call static wicks. So every aircraft is fitted with static wicks, normally on the trailing edges. They're designed to dissipate the build-up of static electricity, which happens naturally through the friction of the air on the aircraft. and also in a lightning strike situation, they will dissipate the lightning strike energy as well. Normally, they'll do a pretty good job of it, and there won't be any issues.
The last significant accident attributed to lightning occurred in 1967, when lightning ignited fuel vapors in a plane, causing it to crash. However, aircraft design standards have since improved dramatically, and modern planes are now built to safely handle lightning strikes. Most lightning strikes cause only minor cosmetic damage, like burn marks at the entry or exit points, typically entering through the nose or wingtips and exiting through the tail or another extremity, and rarely lead to major system failures or engine damage. The body of an airplane is primarily made of conductive materials like aluminum, which acts as a Faraday cage. The electrical charge from the lightning travels around the outer surface of the plane, preventing it from entering the cabin, safeguarding the passengers and crew. Plus, critical engine systems and electronic controls are shielded to protect them from electrical surges and have multiple backups and redundancies. So even if one system is disrupted, others can maintain engine operation. Aircraft parts such as wingtips, nose, tail, and fuselage are tested in special high-voltage laboratories. These labs simulate the electrical energy of a lightning strike to test how well the materials and components can handle being struck. Researchers observe how the lightning travels across the surface and verify that the energy safely disperses without damaging critical parts. But even though planes are designed to withstand a lightning strike, they are also fitted with static discharges or static wicks. You will find metal strips on the nose of airplanes and small rods on the wings and wingtips. Their primary purpose is to dissipate static electricity that builds up on the aircraft during flight due to friction with the air. In extremely rare cases, lightning could disrupt the airflow through the engine, causing a temporary flame out, which is the loss of combustion. Modern engines, however, have automatic restart mechanisms to recover quickly if this happens. So in conclusion, while a lightning strike can be alarming to the passengers, most planes experience no lasting damage due to modern design features, shielding, and redundant systems. And serious engine failure due to lightning is extremely rare.
Everything you always wanted to
क्या होगा अगर आप एक प्लेन में बैठे और आपके प्लेन पर बिजली गिर जाए? सुनने में तो खौफनाक लग।
Well, there you go. Everything you always wanted to know about lightning strikes, but we're afraid to ask. Fred and I were just talking if we've ever been on a plane with lightning strikes, and I have. I didn't really notice anything significant except for a lot of yells and screams as soon as it hit. But Fred was telling me something a little bit about a flight that he was on with St. Elmo's fire.
Right. That's where the fuselage gets so charged up that electrical charge travels to the nose, and then the electrical charge will leap across from the nose to I guess a positive charged thunderstorm. And it's like a reverse lightning strike. The lightning comes leaping off the aircraft, off the nose, into a cloud. And it's a very bright explosion. That's where they developed the name St. Elmo's fire. It's amazing to see. And you have to have respect for lightning, but there are good sides to go around thunderstorms and bad sides. Between the lightning and the hail, probably that hail will do more damage to the body of the aircraft and the fuselage than the lightning strikes. They have systems that can dissipate the lightning, but the hail does a lot of damage if it hits the engines and the fuselage. Any other comments on that, Bob?
No, but that brings us to this portion of the show where I get to show you some of the merchandise that we have available online. If you want to go online and buy some of our merchandise, we have these amazing coffee cups over here that let me bring it into the light.
With real coffee.
Okay, You can have a nice morning breakfast, and the people across from you can see that you support our channel. We also have this kind of a coffee cup, and on this cup on the back, we can put your career. See, everywhere you worked, you can see Fred actually worked once in his life, and how many years he was working for once in his life. No, Fred knows I'm only kidding. We joke around, air traffic controllers have a very tough, hard outer skin. We don't take any of the comments personally. In fact, if you're not trashing us, we feel that you don't like us, okay? That's the way real world works, all right? Over here, you can get a nice white t-shirt with our amazingly designed logo by Fred's lovely wife, Penny. There we go. Isn't that nice? And over here, if you'd look, I'm modeling the black shirt, and you could look almost as handsome as me. You could try to look almost as handsome as me, but look how slitting it is too. You see, takes in the gut, pumps up the arms. So
Spanx can do a lot for a shirt.
no Spanx. This is real skin. And then the last one of the last items is our FAA logo book. Okay, I mean not logo, but our FAA book that talks about everything you always wanted to know about air traffic control, but we're afraid to ask. In here, it's even up to date. It even has the last or the manager at Houston Center at this time. So we're all pretty much up to date. And the last thing you can get if you want, if you still have a mouse, see here I worked at Houston and Chicago Center. All right. You can always get a mouse pad and luggage tag. I don't have the luggage tag, and we also have coasters. So that's my item for hawking our merchandise today. And now we're going to go over to Fred. Fred, you have some stuff about what to watch in 2026.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about the training first.
Oh, training. Okay.
The training, and the FAA has made a statement that they want to hire 8,500 more controllers in the next 3 years. Unfortunately, the success rate coming out of the academy is less than 40%. So it is a tough career. It's a wonderful challenge. And if you can make it through, it's not a job, it's a profession. I did it for 38 years, and I still wish I was still working. My headset's still available. But when you go in there, you really have to concentrate on wanting to get through.
What do you need?
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it, but you got to want it so bad you can taste it. It's kind of like going into pro football. You got to work hard to learn the moves. And after you go through various traffic situations, you start to see patterns. I know when I would get busy, I had certain patterns I would go to keep those aircraft away from each other, to react to thunderstorms, weather situations, to react to military situations. And you just got to, you can't panic. You got to stay calm. If you panic, it could be fatal to you or the people in the sky. But you got to want a challenge. They're not going to pay you this kind of money. I used to tell my students, if you think the government's going to pay you, back then it was $20,000, correction, $100,000 for a job that's worth 75. You got to think twice. If the government's going to pay you $100,000 for a job that might be worth $250, then they want you to produce. Those are old numbers. A full performance controller in a busier facility. Busier facility is any facility that works over 1 million aircraft a year. Although we've probably got a few facilities that are up around 2 million. and controller will make probably 250. I know some that make 400. And the next challenge is for them to live,
Put our logo
to
on.
enjoy it. Chicago, where Bob worked, was, everybody became GS-14s, a million aircraft facilities.
Right.
But something like Chicago, Atlanta, New York, and Houston's another way of counting, but Houston's another high-density facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, any other comments on that?
No, but what I'd like to bring up now is the training, the FAA and training, the school. Air traffic control is in desperate need of air traffic controllers. The FAA is going to be, we have a shortage of about 3,500 air traffic controllers right now, and they hired, I think it was 8,000 controllers last year, and only like 800 and something controllers made it through the training program. Part of that reason was the furlough. A lot of people decided not to show up any longer because they weren't getting paid. Had they stuck around a little bit and talked to the people that were their instructors, they would have learned that they would get their back pay. And I know that they kept the school open, so there's no real reason for them to leave other than trying to get a paycheck. Looks like they're not going to have that problem this time around because the continuing resolution finally passed after 4 days. Everybody's getting paid. But on top of that, they're going to launch an FBI probe on the failed training, the high amount of loss in the training facilities. Okay, so when you have 8,300 applicants and only result in 600 trainees, that is saying a lot to the flying public. But to me, as a former air traffic controller, and to Fred, you'll realize once you get into the system how extremely difficult it is to be able to juggle cats and still say the Pledge of Allegiance while washing a car at the same time. Because that's kind of what it's like when you're controlling airplanes. You have a landline that you're talking to above you in your ear. You have your D-side that's talking to you and telling you stuff. You're marking strips while there's an aircraft also talking to you in your ear. You have possibly a tracker behind you if you're really busy, tapping you on the shoulder and pointing stuff at you. So when you're the center, when you are the modem in this, let's say, great air traffic structure in your area, you're making all these command decisions based on all of these inputs that are coming at you like water out of a fire hose. Not very many people can do that. Even William Covey in his book talks about when you have 7 items in your mind and an 8th one comes in, the average person can only handle 7, so something has to drop out. Well, I would imagine that when I was at my peak, I could have at least 35 to 40 things going on at one time and maintain a level of a consciousness and awareness of each one of those items enough to make a accurate assessment and then formulate a decision and a plan, and not just one plan, but maybe 3 plans should the one plan not be effective enough on each one of those aircraft. So you're really kind of moving around. Aircraft in your head, you have that 3-dimensional picture here, you have a flat radar screen in front of you, and on that flat radar screen you have your altitude, you have your airspeed, you have the direction of flight, you have computer information data that you could type up on your keyboard and bring up the flight plan information about the aircraft. So all of these things, not everybody is capable of doing at one time. I've always said I could take a ride in a car with somebody that's thinking of being an air traffic controller, and I could tell you whether you're going to make it or not, just by the way you drive. Most controllers, they don't have to turn their head around to look to see who's on the right side, on the left side behind them. They already know. They already have that 3-dimensional picture going on around their entire car at all times. It's just the way we operate. I've driven with people that are constantly looking over to the right when I'm already fading off to the right side. I've already got my signal on. I've already made the decision. I already know what's going on way up ahead and down the road. I've had people say, aren't you going to step on the brake? I don't need to step on the brake. That's the loss of efficiency of my car. This guy in front of me is going to start speeding up any second now. This guy over here on the right side, he's going to have to slow down to get around that guy. So I've already planned for him to come in front of me, and I calculated my speed based on what he pulls in front of me if I've got to already step on the brake, and I don't. So
Picture.
you have to have the complete, or as we would say, the big flick in your mind at all times, and that's the way life works as an air traffic controller. We're mostly type A. We like to be entertained. We can be entertaining at times, and we could take a joke, we could take a hit, we could take anything you want, but just don't take us out of the lunchroom, okay, when we're eating. What do you got to say about that, Fred? Am I accurate?
Picture a guy standing there with a headset on, like a juggler, juggling all these aircraft in different situations in different directions. And he's juggling them, but he's not dropping any. If he drops one, he's going to be on the 6 o'clock news, and it won't be pretty.
Yeah.
But he's juggling all the situations around him.
And the other thing is, we could pick up exactly like that what's going on in someone else's airspace. I was working Fort Wayne one time, and the Goshen radar controller, his radar scope completely went out, black. So he, sitting next to me, because we always combine up at Fort Wayne Goshen, sitting next to me, said, hey, I lost my scope. I was able to just quick look him, bring him up on there, and take his frequencies, because I also had the frequencies there, and start working his traffic right then and there. Besides, 90% of it I already handed off to him because they were going in over Chicago Heights plant. So, but you have to be able to move that quickly in this kind of environment. And I would say that the 600 trainees out of that 8,000 is pretty accurate. When I hired in Chicago, we had a class of 24, and at the end, only 4 of us actually made it to FPL. Everybody else either washed out or ended up getting a different assignment somewhere else. So you make the call. You can either do the job or you can't do the job. And you want to find out early on if you can't do the job, so you don't waste a lot of your time and the people that are training you time. Because I'll tell you, as an instructor, it does take a lot out of you to sit there and let that controller go as far as you can, so you can make an accurate assessment as to whether he's learned or she's learned the training and is able to fly on their own. Because we all know, as air traffic controllers, the first day you plug in and you're on your own, that's really the day that you start learning. And you got a really tiny little tool bag that you have to pull a rabbit out of your hat should things go to hell in a handbasket. And as you season, as we call it, as you get better, your tool bag gets bigger and bigger. And you know, as a controller, that you can rely on people that are around you. You can rely on your D-sides, you can rely on your trackers, you can rely on your supervisors. Anybody in the area knows just as much as you, if not more. So that is what it's like as far as the training goes. But I'm looking forward to see what the FBI comes up with about this training environment. To me, it seems normal. To others out there, it probably doesn't seem very normal. But the job is not for everybody. They don't pay you $150,000 to $200,000 a year because you're going to sit on your butt all day and take breaks. No, it's like the guy that they take out to this big ship, and they say to him, you know, we've had tons of people come out here to fix this thing, and they can't get it to work. This engine will not turn over. And the guy says, well, I looked at it. I could fix it. And they ask him, how much? $1 million. You can get this thing moving for $1 million? Yeah. Okay, go make it move. And he goes downstairs into the engine room, and the engineers are with him, and he takes out this little satchel, and he unzips the satchel, and then he pulls out this silver hammer, little silver hammer. It's only about that big. It's got a nice little handle on it. And he walks over to the big engine, and he taps over here on the right, he taps over here on the left, and then he taps underneath one of these pipes, and he goes to the chief engineer. Go ahead, start it up. The thing starts up. And they all look at him and say, we're going to pay you $1 million for that? Because you were just tapped a couple of places? He says, no, you're going to pay me $1 million because I know exactly where to tap. So, same thing with air traffic controllers. Right, Fred?
Yeah, the one other point, while they're trying to fill all these gaps with new controllers, we have a mandatory 56 retirement, 20 years of active air traffic control, but no sooner than age 50 or 25 years at any age. So a lot of the controllers are retiring, and the new controllers haven't gotten there yet to fill the holes. So that reduces the amount of people they have, and they have to restrict the traffic to accommodate what's wants to fly.
Yeah.
While the new trainees are coming in, the old trainees or the seasoned trainees are leaving.
So the new trainees that just got checked out are the ones training the newer trainees.
Yes.
And we all know that when you're an instructor, the best you could hope for is passing on 25% of what you know to your trainer, and that's if he's really or she's really tuned into what you're doing.
Yeah.
But having said that, Fred, why don't you bring us into what to look out for in 2026?
Yeah, if anything, we're autonomous flying more, and there's going to be a lot of drones and coupled drones that are going to be flying with fighter aircraft, where a fighter may have 5 or 10 drones flying with him, and depending on the threat or the attack, the pilot can program that drone to go after the enemy that he wants to attack, while he has the other ones flying with him, waiting for instructions. The aviation community is always growing and evolving, and we're really into the drone portion of flying and protecting our what's the right word? System
The
or
airspace?
targets.
Yeah.
Targets. Yeah. We did mention a couple of weeks ago that the next NASA launch of Artemis 2 to go around the moon was scheduled to happen, but it's been rescheduled for about 4 months. I think this is the 8th time they've rescheduled it. But it's pretty expensive to get one of those rockets to launch. And you don't want to press that button and have a firecracker on the launch pad.
No, you don't.
So we have to wait a little longer. If you get bored, you can always watch SpaceX. Elon's launching rockets all over the place. More to come.
Yeah, speaking about advances, I saw something about China having 2 new stealth aircraft that they're going to come up with. I don't know if that was AI motivated or if they really do. They're going to go to stage 5 of their stealth program when they even did, stage 6 of their stealth program, and they didn't even have stage 5 really fully developed yet for stealth. And these 2 aircraft, J-30 and a JH-58 or something like that, they're supposed to be heads and heels above the best, but I was thinking that you might be able to tell us a little bit about that. Or you want me to talk about this? Let's see. Brazil, China. No, this isn't it. What I saw this when I was looking online, so I'm thinking, saying it's not published in this Aviation Weekly magazine, it might just be AI. I'm going to have to do a little bit further research. But further mentioning about drones, you know that the FAA and the FBI have established no-fly zones around the Super Bowl area. In fact, they even had time, dates, and locations for these no-fly zones. So, like they have Moscone Center, the Pearl, the Ferry Building, Grace Cathedral. That was from February 3rd all the way through February 8th, February 9th. Should be. They probably will still have a little bit because people will be leaving the areas, but Levi Stadium is going to be completely barricaded off from flight level 180 and below, a 30-mile radius, starting at 2:30 p.m. today, San Francisco time. You will not be able to operate a drone. I would imagine that like CBS, ABC, whoever's got the television rights, will be the only people that'll be flying drones, and I'm sure that'll probably only be in the stadium if they're going to fly around. Other than that, they'll be looking for you if you're up there trying to get in above 400 feet. Then you can fly without having to contact the FAA. So, do you have anything else for us, Fred?
I remember one Super Bowl, and everything was being monitored. Probably during the Super Bowl time, we did pick up 3 different targets that weren't programmed, and we had Black Hawk helicopters and Secret Service, and going after these targets. One of them, they wound up following this biplane, going out to a little grass field north of Lake Pontchartrain. Turned out it was an old farmer, and he was throwing toilet paper out over this.
Oh, God.
Rolls of toilet paper out over the.
No.
Yeah.
Did he get away with it?
They got him after he landed, and maybe he was out of toilet paper.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, various targets.
Well, it never fails. Somebody is always out there trying to
Beat the system.
beat the system, or they're just not paying attention. They want to do the, what is that called?
The old school flyby.
No, I ask for
Fly
forgiveness. Easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. And then there's one more thing when you don't know, when you could say that you don't know.
Ignorance is bliss.
No, there's a term for it. In fact, it was coined during the Clinton administration.
I'm not going to
I
respond.
can't think of what the heck the name of that was. It was. If I forget, it'll come to me. Everybody else out there that is 68. Oh, I'm 60. I turned 68 in January, by the way. So I'm kind of getting close to Fred, but I'll never catch Fred. Fred will always be so many more years older than me, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah,
That I'm just
not.
the kid here. So, you got anything else for us, Fred?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm just thinking of the famous words of Bill Clinton.
Oh, man. Plausible deniability. There you go. That's it. He had plausible deniability. So one more thing. I guess we're going to be closing out here.
Oh, your trip?
Yeah, I got a trip coming up. I'll be leaving February 28th, and on March the 1st, I'll be directing a movie in the UK up in Lancashire called Wolf Tracker. So I'll try to do my podcasts on Sunday. I don't know if I can Zoom Fred in or not. If not, I'll probably just do them from out there in Lancashire, England. But I'm going to do this Wolf Tracker, and we're even looking at filming it in film noir. So stay tuned for when we finish editing and cutting it. I'll be out there about 2 weeks. I'm looking so forward to working with Chris Sanders and my DP and First AC. We got a great crew that's coming out, good cast that's coming out. So I'm very excited about being able to make this movie. Lots of good ideas for it too. So anyway, back to our show here. I want to thank everybody once again for subscribing and liking and joining us. And I know that you have ideas for us. Please let us know. And I'm also getting ready to develop the trivia game, and we'll be putting that online. And if you are the winner of that trivia game, what are we doing? We're giving them like a T-shirt or a cup or something like that. Or maybe you'll even get one of these handy-dandy FAA behind-the-scope booklets. You can show that off on your coffee table to your friends.
BJ's?
Oh, BJ's. That's
20...
Thursday? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Next Wednesday?
No.
Oh, no, two weeks from now. If you're in the Houston area, if you're up by the Woodlands, there's BJ's from 3 o'clock
To 6?
till 6, or whenever you want to leave. We'll be up there at BJ's with a bunch of controller friends, retired controllers, and some working controllers, just doing some hanger flying and talking about the good old days, or the days that were once good or maybe not so good, telling some pretty cool stories. Maybe you'll meet up with somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. So if you're in the area, come by and join us. Tell us where you worked. We'd love to see you. And until then, Fred and I, we just want to say, please learn how to love one another out there. Okay? It's a tough world. Don't make it any tougher for anybody else. All right? Take care.
Have a good week.